Hi, Ray Hayden here, and this is part 2 of the 4-part series of my experiences with the California bar exam. Now, I sat for the California bar exam in February of 2018, and this video is going to be talking about the first day of the exam, which was on Tuesday. It's given on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday is written, and Wednesday is the MBE part of the exam, and that's the next video. I'll talk about that. Let me jump right into the subject matter of the essays that we saw in February 2018. I had to look this up online in a discussion board because the California Bar hasn't yet released the exam questions. When they do, I'll make an add-on video to the series or something like that and go into a little bit more detail about what I think I saw. And then when my results come back to me, then I'll go into fine details of why I wrote the way I did. All right. So the first subject for question number 1 had to do with remedies, and it was a crossover to professional responsibility. The second question had to do with constitutional law, and the third question had to do with property and torts. That would have ended the morning session. 3 hours, 3 questions, morning session, done. Then we take a lunch and we come back to the afternoon session. The afternoon session had 2 more essays, number 4 and 5. Number 4 was on wills. Number 5 was on criminal law and procedure. And then we had the performance test that we also had to complete in the afternoon session. Now, I want to talk about this as basically as simply as I can because I can make it very, very confusing, and that's unfortunate. The way the California Bar written exam works is that all of us have the same 3 questions in the morning. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3. What I'm seeing in front of me is the same thing that people on either side of me are seeing during that morning session. I have the same question number 1 as both of these people. They have question number 2. I have the same question number 2. It's the same thing, same subject. We have 3 hours in which to complete our essays, those 3 essays, all right? You can divide your time up however you want to do. We're free agents. We're free to do whatever we want to do, however we want to do it. There's no real issue with any of that. Divide your time up however you see fit, whatever works out best for you. I highly agree with just using whatever time you need to get the job done, okay? Be your own judge of the effectiveness of your time management. Get the job done and have a good lunch. So when we come back in the afternoon, again, we're all seeing the same question number 4 and the same question number 5, same subject, same order, nothing's mixed up or anything like that. And we also have the performance test. The performance test is allotted an hour and a half. And of course the essays are allotted an hour. So if you have 2 hours for the 2 essays and an hour and a half for the performance test, that gives you a block of time of 3.5 hours. There is no stopping and starting. Once the session in the afternoon starts, 3.5 hours later, your test is done, along with everybody else's. You can divide that 3.5 hours up however you want to do it. Again, we're all free agents. We're able to make up our own minds to manage our time as we see fit. They kind of give you advice about that or warning about that up front when you're reading your instructions, and they go over it a couple of times in different ways throughout the whole exam, really. But you have 3.5 hours. Divide that time up however you want. But what I want to talk, and by the way, whatever you want to do to get that done, just manage your time, get the job done, and it's doable. I find that the morning session, the afternoon session, you have more than enough time to get a reasonably well prepared examinee has more than enough time to get the job done. The average passing answer has more than enough time to get the job done, all right? That's my own personal opinion, and that's from sitting for the first year law students examination 6 times, and for the bar exam once. I can pretty much feel the same way about it. Everybody's got enough time for the average passing answer to get the job done with no issue. Let me talk about the performance test. If you're taking the California Bar exam, you've no doubt looked at the previous exams on the California Bar website. What I want to tell you is that I want to give you this so you know what to expect when you walk in a room, because as anybody who's been following my website for any length of time knows, I like to give you the information as much as I'm allowed to give you in advance so that you have no pressure, no stress, no aggravation or frustration when you go in to sit for your bar exam. Because I want you to be able to have the best opportunity to be at ease and at calm to the best of your ability during the exam session. I don't want you being all stressed out and messed up about anything that you really shouldn't be, all right? It's not as bad of an experience as it can be made out to be, all right? So I think a lot of people fail the exam. A lot of people who fail the exam fail it over stress. Some people fail it because they didn't prepare properly. I think I failed it because I didn't prepare properly, but I had no stress. So I failed it without any stress whatsoever, all right? We'll see what happens in mid-May when I get my results back. But what I want to say about this is on the performance test, when you look at it on exam day, when you're in the exam, the afternoon session, they give you your materials, there are 3 booklets. There's one that has question number 4 and 5 in it for your essays. Then there's 2 more booklets. It's not like the way it looks like on the California Bar website, because they basically eliminate the booklet part of it. And there's a booklet called File, and there's a booklet called Library. All right, so this is the way I want you to think about this while you're preparing for this thing. Think fact, file, law, library. All right, fact, file, and law, library. Say it over and over to make sure you get that locked in your head, because it's really important that you do it the right way. The fact file is basically your instructions for what you need to do, how you need to do it, what they're looking for, and they're going to say, okay, go get the information. You're going to do some research somehow, some way. That's why they give you a law library, so you can go research what it is that somebody wants an answer for. In this case, for February 2018, they wanted an answer on a position for a lawsuit, and I'll discuss more about that in some other video. However, the real quick to end this video in a reasonable amount of time, read your fact file. Make sure you follow the instructions in the fact file to the letter, to the very best of your ability. You're under testing exam conditions, so I totally get that. But to the very best of your ability, back off, calm down a little bit, read it a couple of times, make sure you're following you want to give them what they're asking for, all right? Then go into the law library, do your research, make sure you get your facts and information correct and everything, the information from the law library, to apply it to the facts, all right? One of the instructions in this particular performance test was not to use the facts from the fact file so much, but to rely on the law and the law library, because that's what was going to make a determination kind of thing. So it was really important to make sure you understand the instructions and follow the instructions. Again, real brief, in the morning, 3 hours, 3 questions. Everybody's looking at the same number 1, the same number 2, and the same number 3. They don't mix anything up on that. And then it doesn't matter, like your face is buried in your work the whole time anyway. In the afternoon session, the same 4 and 5. Everybody's got the same question. Everybody has the same performance test. They don't mix anything up. They don't shuffle anything around, okay? In the morning, you get 3 hours. In the afternoon, you get 3.5 hours. You can manage your time however you see fit. We're all free agents, free to do whatever we need to do to get the job done, all right? Now, tomorrow or in the next video, you're going to see it's going to be talking about the MBEs. I'm just going to discuss that brief overview and the procedures that we went through. I am not allowed to talk about a lot of things that I would love to chat with you, because they give us a real good riot act before we sit for and after we're done with the MBEs. So with that, until I catch you in the next video, take care and be well.